Hey, guess what's happening on this week's episode of the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with your friend and host, Oscar Camejo.
Do you find it difficult to stick to your commitment to eating healthy, exercising on a regular basis in order to lose weight? Perhaps you've been on a roller coaster ride for years and nothing seems to be working. You're still gaining weight and maybe you've hit a plateau. And now you're not losing as much weight as you probably had hoped by now. It's been too long. You're ready to give up, cave in, and quit. Your journey seems to be sputtering along and you're tired of starting something new. It's the new year. It's tired of doing the resolutions, tired of getting sidetracked along the way. And you're just like, man, nothing seems to be working. You're dealing with health conditions such as type 2 diabetes, maybe pre-diabetes, dealing with hypertension, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and a whole bunch of other things. I've been there, trust me. You're probably at that point where quitting is almost an option because no matter what diet you've started, what exercise program you've paid for, no matter what gym membership you have, personal trainer you've tried to work with, nothing seems to be working. Everything seems to be going in the opposite direction. Trust me, I know there's a lot of people like you who is frustrated. And you know what? Sometimes that frustration will cause us to kind of scale back and decide to just stop. You know, maybe you've made a few small changes, but you haven't seen any tangible results, at least nothing lasting. You keep dealing with the same cravings. You're still dealing with the same anxieties when it comes to, buying certain clothes and shopping for clothes and being at social settings with families and wondering what people are doing when when you all are together. Are they watching you? Are they eagle-eyeing you when it comes to your food? And it's just frustrating. And like so many people, maybe you're on the brink of stopping. I want to encourage you today. Hopefully this episode will be an inspiration to you. And this is what you can expect to receive out of this week's episode. You're going to learn some simple ways to improve your overall health. You're going to receive some practical recommendations for developing lifelong good habits. And we're going to get into the top reasons why you may not be achieving lasting results, because at the end of the day, we all want results. It's just how we go about getting there and getting those results that could be the big difference. You know what I mean? So I'm also here to motivate you because I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to cave in and quit. So my friend, hey, don't go anywhere. Stick around to hear the rest of today's episode. You don't want to miss it. Welcome to this week's episode of the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with me, your host, Oscar Camejo. My goal is to help diabetics and non-diabetics make lifestyle changes to reverse and prevent type 2 diabetes. Today's episode, we're going to dive right into the top reasons why you may not be achieving lasting results. While I was in the gym the other day, a woman in her 60s, she stopped by to comment and say something about my workout. She said something to the effect like, wow, you're always here working out, focused, you're committed. For the last 6 months or so, this happens to me almost every day at the gym. Not the same lady, but I have different people coming up to me. You have men, you have women, just people just kind of stopping and commenting about my workout regimen. This wasn't always the case. I remember there was a time when nobody noticed me in the gym, let alone even speak. I was overweight. I was struggling to get through a simple total body conditioning routine. I remember my first day and my first week in the gym. It was, June 8th, 2021. After years of having stayed away from the gym, I decided to get back and get my stuff together. That workout on day one, man, it was brutal. It was the Joe Holder Nike Training Club total body conditioning workout. It wasn't brutal because it was a tough workout. I simply was out of touch with my body. Basically, I was out of shape, y'all. The routine that he had in that program, it was not hard at all. but I felt like my chest was about to explode because the conditioning, it was challenging, but it was, over time, it became easier. But that day, man, no, it was crazy. I was just simply out of shape. I was dealing with type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I had metabolic syndrome. I had a lot of things collectively going on at the same time. And getting through that day one exercise, I think it was supposed to be like 30 minutes long, but it took me longer than that. Let's just say that. My decision to turn my health around and my whole lifestyle around actually started before June 8th, 2021. That just happened to be the day that I decided to set foot in the gym to begin my journey toward good health. I'm glad I did. I had to start somewhere. No matter what I was going through, I had been in the gym years before. And back then, my goal at the time, and I'm going to talk about goals later on, but my goal at the time was just to look like the Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, when he played the Wolverine, I just wanted to look like him. I didn't know how to get there. Men's Health magazine had this article on what he did to work out. So I just followed that one workout regimen, and I had gotten big. I had built up a lot of muscle, but I had no clue about nutrition. I had no clue about what to eat and what not to eat and how to restrict certain calories. I didn't know anything about fat burning. That wasn't even on my mind. All I wanted to do was just get big. And I got big. I was muscular, if you will. But, over time, that was not sustainable because once I hit that goal, then what? Yeah, and it was easy to fall off a few months later. So today, I am off meds, folks. I was able to reverse type 2 diabetes and send it into remission. Yes, I work out regularly, almost daily. I eat for nutrition as part of my lifestyle. I study nutrition. I read up a lot about foods and vegetables, fruits. I read a lot about gut health. As a matter of fact, that's what I've been focusing on for the last couple of weeks now is the health of our gut, and how it affects our immune system, our digestive system, and how things are supposed to work, because our immune system and our digestive system is very important to long-term health. So I'm happy to tell you that throughout everything I did, I'm glad I was able to trust God in the process. But not only dealing with my spiritual health, I had to deal with my physical health, my mental health. I had to do it all. I had to keep it up. I had to keep moving. I had to make a decision never to go back to that old way of thinking. So on top of all that, I had to create a system to achieve results. And I think that's where a lot of people fail. They have goals, but they don't have a plan or a system to achieve it. Listen, if I can turn my life around, my friend, you definitely can do it as well. I just want you to start somewhere. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you've been dealing with. It's been years that you've been trying to turn your life around, but there's some common things that, we make our mind up to do, or we say that we're going to do, some things that we set our minds to accomplish and achieve. And we have these goals. And some of those goals, come around during the new year. And we say, hey, it's the new year. And I'm going to set these New Year's, quote unquote, resolutions. I want to live healthier. I want to lose weight. I want to make personal improvements. I want to find the love of my life and be happy. I want to save money. I want to pay off debt. Those are good goals. Those are good things to want to strive for. But a lot of times we don't have and we don't implement what it takes to actually achieve those results and make them lasting, make it a part of our lifestyle. Because let's go back to losing weight. I remember when I was getting ready for my 30th year high school reunion, I said I wanted to, and I did it as a joke. I put a post on social media saying 30 by 30. Basically I was going to lose 30 pounds by the time my 30th anniversary came around. So I was motivated. And guess what? I lost over 30 pounds by the time my reunion came around. And I forgot how long it took from the point of that decision. So yeah, I looked good. I had on a suit, I was on the dance floor too. Yeah, I love to dance. And I felt good. And I had, former classmates a comment about how I looked and how I still look like I was in high school. They were being generous, but, I felt good. But, what happened after that? I was already of the mindset that I wanted to live a healthy lifestyle beyond this 30th year anniversary. So, there are some reasons why many of us, we set a certain goal, but then we go backwards, we fall off. And some of those reasons include setting unrealistic goals. We have unrealistic expectations. Some things are so far-fetched. We see ads or we see these people on social media, these influencers, and we don't know what they did to actually get there. We just trust what they say. And a lot of times it's false pretense. It's not the truth. I was listening to another podcast the other day and they were talking about Brad Pitt and getting ready for the movie The Fight Club. For those of you all who may remember, it was he and Ed Norton, I believe. And they talked about how a lot of men want to get that Brad Pitt Fight Club look. And they don't know what he went through to get that. A lot of times these actors, they go through a 3 to 4 week hardcore regimen to get down to a certain body size and body aesthetic in preparation for a role. But that's temporary. They're getting ready to film a movie. So what happens after that? So I don't want us to set unrealistic goals that are temporary, that are fleeting because of what we saw in a magazine, like I did when I wanted to look like the Wolverine and Hugh Jackman. It was loco. Number 2, so that was the first one, setting unrealistic goals. Number 2, so a lot of people focus on goals rather than developing a system for achieving results. There's a big difference, and I'm going to go more in depth to that in just a bit. Again, some people focus on goals rather than developing a system for achieving results. And that's a big difference because you can set goals all day, but if you don't have a plan to execute how to achieve those results, those goals, then you're going to fall off. Trust me. Number 3, some people don't know that maintaining poor habits and not developing good habits could be the reason why they're not seeing lasting results. If you keep maintaining those poor habits, those things that are setting you back, those things that are holding you down, those things that are keeping you at a plateau, how can you expect to get results? No, you got to change, folks. You got to start today. Don't wait for something spectacular to happen. Don't wait for a new year to come around before you implement good habits. No, now is the time to develop good habits that are achievable, that are realistic, and that you can maintain and that you can make it sustainable for your life. Number 4, a lack of patience. This is something that I've been working on for the last year or so. It's just patience. And not making rash decisions, not making decisions out of desperation. A lot of people make decisions out of desperation. They make decisions without thinking things through. I've heard it say, actually, it was James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. He said that mastery requires patience. So if you're trying to master losing weight, if you're trying to achieve results, if you're trying to master eating healthy and living a lifestyle of health and wellness, not saying that you're trying to become a personal trainer or a dietitian or enter the medical field or become a health coach. Nah, if you just are trying to live healthy, eat healthier, exercise regularly, and lose a lot of weight, well, mastering that is going to require patience. We've all heard that Rome wasn't built in the day. In this day and age, we want things so fast. We want to achieve results so fast. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. I've been here in Atlanta for over 23 years now. And when I first moved to Atlanta, I used to go back and visit Miami, but I would drive. It takes anywhere between 10 to 12 hours, depending on how many stops you take and depending on which route you go. So now I can't stand driving to Florida, to Miami. It's just too long. I'd rather get there quickly. I'd rather spend most of my time on the ground in Miami, soaking up that Florida sun, going to the beach that I miss so much, going to my old neighborhoods, going to go see family member. I'd rather do that. Who wants to spend 10, 12 hours on the road? But I do also miss the scenic route, the scenery, the road trips, the excitement, the music, that I used to listen to on the road. But, I still prefer getting to Miami quickly. But so you get my point. It's the lack of patience. We want things so fast. We want things just quick, fast, in a hurry. But if folks, when you're trying to turn your health around and live a healthier lifestyle, the quick, fast, in a hurry mentality is not going to serve you well. Yeah, we got to be mindful of patience and allow patience to perfect things in us, to let patience have its perfect work. I get regular notifications on my Apple Watch, through this app that tracks my workout activity, my health, my stress levels, my heart rate, and so forth. So often, a notification pops up right on the screen, whether it's on my cell phone or even on my watch, and it says your workout results are ready. So usually after I do a workout, whether it's a light workout or an intense workout, this notification pops up. So it tracks where I am. It shows me metrics. It shows me these graphs, and it shows me my percent of stress level. It shows my intensity of my workout. It shows, how many calories I burn and so forth. It even lets me know when to slow down and rest. It says, hey, Oscar, you've been hitting the gym pretty heavily. Way to go. However, you need to rest and breathe and relax. Take a couple of days off. Okay. So when it comes to developing patience to achieve results over time, I have to listen to my system. I have to pay attention to my system. And my system involves rest as well as working out on a regular basis, right? So I don't do the high intensity workouts 7 days a week like I did for months. I mean, literally, I was wanting to close my rings. Those of you who have an Apple Watch, you know what I'm talking about. I was so obsessed with, closing my rings every day. And folks, my activity goal, calorie burn goal is 1,400 a day. So you can imagine, that's crazy. So imagine trying to actively burn 1,400 calories a day through active workouts. That's a lot. So I had to learn to slow down, and I had to learn the value of rest, not just getting to bed early, but actually taking days to rest. Now, there are days like, let's say, Saturday and Sunday, where I would do what's called an active mobility recovery, where I'm doing a light workout. I may walk on the treadmill, ride the bike. I do some stretching and so forth. So it's not all about doing the intense workout every day. I had to do and create a system and follow a system where I can not only eat properly every day, where I can exercise regularly, but where I also incorporate healthy rest, because the body needs time to rejuvenate and reset. So Patience, folks, patience, patience, patience. Results will happen over time. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they lose patience and they want to see immediate results, and they want to see results in a short period of time. But if you have a graph, right, a chart, if you will, you have results on the left side and time at the bottom. When you first start your workout regimen and your healthy nutrition, you're going to start at 0 right at the bottom left corner. And then over time, let's say 3 months, 6 months, a year, you are going to see results, but you have to be consistent. It can't be, okay, well, I eat healthy today and the rest of the week I eat poorly, or I work out today and I don't work out for another 2 weeks. And then maybe I work out a day here or there, and there's no consistency. It's just sporadic. So the goal is to have results over time. That's where our graph comes in. Remember, results on the left side going vertically, and time at the bottom going horizontally. So we want to achieve this curve where you start at the bottom, but then you start gradually increasing your results, but it's going to take time. So hopefully that makes sense. So earlier I mentioned about there's a difference between goal setting and system setting, right? So I want you to forget about goals for a moment. And instead, I want you to focus on following a system. There's a big difference. Remember, goals are usually time bound, or they're temporary, they're momentary. But a system is something that you do consistently, often, and on a regular basis. And when you have a system, it's going to be easier for you to achieve results. You see, goals are about the results you want to achieve, right? While systems are about the processes that lead to those results. If you lack a system to lose weight, if you lack a system to lose 50 pounds per se, then how can you expect to achieve that quote unquote goal of losing 50 pounds? Again, you want to lose 50 pounds? How? How are you going to do it? Are you going to starve yourself? That's not good. Are you going to eat healthier? Yeah, that's good. But how? What are you going to eat healthier? What does healthy mean? What does eating healthier mean? Let's be honest. What does that mean? You want to lose 50 pounds to fit in a certain outfit? Okay. Once you fit into that outfit, then what? Okay. So again, how are you going to exercise patience? How are you going to develop a system? Or what system are you going to develop in order to achieve that weight loss? You see, it's more than just going to the gym every day. What are you going to do when you go to the gym? Let's say you get on the treadmill and you walk for 5 minutes, very low intense, and you're not challenging yourself. Is it just about going to the gym? No, it's about what you do in the gym. What do you do on a regular basis? If you are going to go to the gym, how often are you going to go? What are you going to commit to doing on a regular and consistent basis? You see, the only way to achieve lasting success is to get better every day. That doesn't mean you have to spend hours and hours in the gym. I spent 2 hours in the gym myself, right? But I didn't get there. Remember, June 8th, 2021, I was gassed trying to do a 30-minute workout. You see, there's a difference between people who win and people who lose when it comes to sports, for example. A team has the same goal as the other team. Let's say football, American football, or soccer, basketball. Everybody has the same goal. At the end of the day, we want to win. We want to have the most points. We want to score the most points and come away with a win. 2 people in a tennis match. What is the goal? They have the same goal. We both want to win this match. But when it comes to the one individual versus another, one team versus the other team, only one will win. The only one who wins is not just the one who sets out to achieve a goal. Because remember, both teams or both competitors have set out to win the game. That's a goal. But who wins at the end? Not just the one. Yes, the one who wins is the one who scores the most points. But a lot of times it's the one who's executed the plans and the system to win. You see, let's take two boxers. Two boxers have the same goal. They want to, at the end of the day, have a scorecard where one person has more points than the other. So how do you score points? By landing blows, not just throwing punches, which is about what you land, right? So again, both of them want to win. Both boxers want to win. Both are throwing punches, but who lands? Well, the one who lands is typically the ones who is executing their plan. They've studied their opponent. They've studied the game, but winning happens long before you set foot in the boxing ring. It's what you've done to condition your body, is what you've done to eat properly, you exercising your mental strength as well, long before you set foot in that boxing ring. So it's the systems and plans that you execute long before you set foot in that ring. So again, a goal is usually momentary. Again, you want to lose 50 pounds. Once you've lost a pound, the 50 pounds, then what? What is going to be your lifestyle of winning every day? You see, achieving a goal only changes your life for the moment. Let me say that again. Achieving a goal only changes your life for that moment. Me personally, I follow a daily and a weekly routine. You know, some people, when it comes to a system, they call it either routine, regimen, consistency, whatever you want to call it. It's something that you do on a regular basis. It's, for me, my weekly and daily routine involves flexibility and mobility exercises in the morning, every morning, whether I'm working out in the gym that day or not. I take 5 to 7 minutes to stretch. I work on my joint health. I work on my flexibility and mobility in the morning. That's what I do. That's my health, part of my health system, my health routine, flexibility and mobility every morning without fail. And if I forget to do it for whatever reason in the morning, maybe I'm rushing out to go to work or handle some business, you better believe sometime in the day, Oscar's going to be taking his 5 to 7 minutes, trust me, to work on flexibility and mobility. Because as a man over 40, I'm actually 49, almost 50. You know, I have to take my flexibility and strength and mobility very seriously. Okay, going on. I make a breakfast smoothie or eat a light breakfast every day if I'm not doing an intermittent fast for that day. I have a mid-morning snack. It's usually a whole fruit like kiwi or an apple, and I eat some mixed nuts. You know, that's a healthy form of fat. You know, during lunch, I usually eat a huge lunch, you know, a hearty lunch, usually a salad with the protein and a healthy fat like avocado. And I do my best to stay away from carbs. If I do any breads, anything of that nature, or wrap or something like that, I try to leave it for lunch and not do it definitely in the morning. Try not to do it in the morning. Try not to do it in the evenings before going to bed. Now, my mid-afternoon snack is usually a fruit like a banana. I may have a peanut butter sandwich before I go to the gym that's made. I make it with Ezekiel bread, and Ezekiel bread is pretty awesome. So that's my mid-morning snack. This is a part of my system. I'm just kind of giving you what I do on a daily basis. Gym time, Monday through Friday. I go to the gym Monday through Friday, folks, for 2 hours, at least 2 hours. Is there a reason for that magic number 2 hours? No, that's just my average time. Really, it's more like an hour and a half. But I'm in the gym roughly 2 hours. You know, there's people that I know, guys who, we talk and we catch up and stuff like that. We talk about workout routines and stuff like that. So gym has become like a social hour as well. But yeah, so my gym time, that's in the afternoons. And then my system is to have dinner by 8 p.m., no later than 8 p.m. Does that always work? No, because sometimes, let's say if I went to the gym later than expected, I end up getting home later, and then I have to start cooking, prepping, and stuff like that. And if I have other things that I have going on, I have to prepare. So usually my dinner involves, sauteed veggies, a protein like fish or chicken, sometimes beef. And I typically do a small salad. I don't have as big of a meal as I do for lunch during dinner because, again, remember, I'm going to be going to bed shortly after that. And what I mean shortly, my system and my routine is to be in bed by 11 p.m. or earlier if I can do it. Let's say 10 or 10:30. That's so I can get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Ideally, 7.5. Perfect scenario would be 8 to 9. But here's the bottom line, folks. If you want to achieve a different outcome, you have to do things differently. You have to follow a system that is simple to implement, one that you can execute continuously by making small improvements over time. So I hope you got something out of this week's episode. My goal is to help you to achieve lasting results. And I know it's not easy. It's not something that just happens overnight. It is going to take some time. But I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to cave in. I don't want you to quit. I want you to achieve lasting results. My friend, if I can do it, you can too. If you're dealing with having a bad relationship with food, if you find comfort in eating foods because you're depressed or you have a lot of stuff going on, I definitely want you to get help. If you haven't gone to the doctor for a while to get a checkup, I want you to go ahead and schedule your checkups. Find out about your blood work. Find out what's going on with your body so that you can make some changes. So, my friend, I want to leave you with this recommended book. I mentioned it earlier. The author's name is James Clear. He wrote a book called Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. That is an awesome book. I reference it often. And he talks a lot about how to develop systems to achieve results. And it's all about making those tiny changes and creating tiny habits that lead to big results. You can do it, folks. Trust me, be encouraged. If you're not already doing it right now, I want you to subscribe to this podcast. Tell somebody about it. Also go and rate this podcast, whether you're on Spotify or Apple or Google Podcasts. I'm all over the place. Please leave a review. It helps the podcast to grow. So as always, my friend, stay focused, keep moving, never go back, leap forward, bounce back because you can, my friend. And above all else, trust God. You got this. I believe in you. Be sure to visit the website at www.beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com for access to free resources and other information that will help you along your journey. If you would like to submit a question or comment about the show or to learn more about the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle, you can always email me at hello@beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with Oscar Camejo. We hope you enjoyed this episode. As a reminder, this podcast is intended for motivational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional care by a physician or other healthcare professional or qualified fitness instructor. This podcast is provided on the understanding that it does not constitute medical or professional advice or services. If you're looking for help on your journey, seek a qualified medical practitioner. It's important that you utilize someone who is a trained, licensed healthcare professional who can help you on your journey toward good health.